Good afternoon. My name is Christina Wallmann. I am a senior at Marcus High School in Flower Texas, and this is my third year in Taffy FEA. I have titled this project Cases for Cancer because, along with others, I have made pillowcases for children, teens, and adults. Originally, I had planned to just make it for children, but over the course of several months, I have grown this project for teens and now even adults. In the beginning, my original goal was 100 pillowcases, and through this presentation, you will see how it has grown significantly. As shown on my website, there is an overview of how I plan my months. To be completely honest, after I said I was going to do this, I thought, holy cow, I'm insane. I had no idea how I was going to execute this project, and I had to come up with what to do and fast so I would not get behind. Not only did I want to develop a new skill, but I wanted to do a service project that could potentially make someone smile, and I also really wanted to work on something with my mom. Getting started was actually pretty rough. Not only did I not know how to sew, I didn't know how I was going to make 100 pillowcases. Also, I had to talk to strangers. Now you're thinking, what's the big deal? It's not that hard to talk to strangers. But I have social anxiety, so this was a huge deal to me. But luckily, I was not alone. I had my advisor's help, my mother's help, as well as several women from my church. In August, I set a goal for 100 pillowcases made and donated by Thanksgiving Day. By November 26th, I successfully donated 120 pillowcases. Since then, I've raised my goal to 200 pillowcases, and by April 10th, it looks like I could be reaching over 300 pillowcases. I was lucky enough that my mother had almost all the materials I needed, except for the fabric, but that soon changed with donations from friends and family, as well as making social media posts asking for some donations. I came across an obstacle in July. I had surgery and was going to be put on rest for 6 weeks. But actually, I was on rest for 10 weeks, and for the first 3 weeks, I could barely get out of bed. You can imagine how stressed I was as the weeks went by, but my mother kept encouraging me that I could finish as long as I was focused and determined. I was also fortunate enough to have my advisor's help. With all the donated fabric, there would be no way I could finish on my own. She was more than happy to have her 4th period class make some pillowcases. Now, I heard stories of the students not liking the pillowcase project, but even with all the moans and groans, they successfully completed 54 pillowcases, which brought my total to 174. Now, I really did not want to speak about money in my presentation because I wanted to stay focused on the meaning. However, I needed to include financials in my presentation for you to understand the monetary value, as well as the social and emotional impact. Fabric is not cheap. My parents donated over $700 to purchase fabric, and that really only covered just 50 pillowcases. I also received several thousands of dollars worth of donations from various donors. In October, my advisor told me to come with her to get something from her car. When she opened the trunk, my jaw must have dropped to the floor. It was completely filled with fabric that her mother, Miss Watts, wanted to donate to Cases for Cancer. I wanted to cry because I was so happy. That was my first huge donation, and it actually helped me complete my original 100 pillowcase goal. The raw materials for each pillowcase is roughly $16 each. The estimated gross value of 300 pillowcases is $4,800. Jessica Koss, the CEO of Foundations for Choice, heard about Cases for Cancer and wanted to donate in some way. She contacted a few individuals. One individual donated high-quality fabric. 2 other donors donated pillowcase dresses, which I will be giving to an association who will give these pillowcase dresses to children in Uganda. These donors were complete strangers, and they still are. I have never met them, and I was so surprised that strangers would actually help someone that they've never met. It just showed me how amazing people can be to help out a cause. Now back to my advisor's mother. The night before I was going to present this speech to a panel of judges in February for this state competition, I presented this in front of my advisor as well as her mother. When I finished, I looked over to see Miss Watts' eyes filled with tears. She then came over and gave me a hug. She then proceeded to tell me that she had 150 pillowcases ready to be sewn. Now I know I'm jumping everywhere in this speech, but there is even more great opportunities that came for Cases for Cancer on different and random days. My friend Bryce texted me asking if he could interview me for a segment for the Marcus High School broadcasting station. I accepted him, I accepted, and I'm looking forward to all of the questions that he has for me on March 21st, as well as sharing cases for cancer to the entire high school. A few days ago, Mr. Self, who I know from my church, called me and asked if I would be willing to host their service project, which is making pillowcases for the Boy Scouts of America in their Irving office on April 20th. I'm very excited to see all the individuals who will come out and who are ready to start sewing. Mr. Self told me that they are super excited about this service project because it is something new and exciting for them to do. Knowing I had to relate this leadership project to Taffy, FEA, as well as a classroom lesson, I asked my advisor for some suggestions. She suggested that I go to Lamar Middle School in Flower Mound and teach them how to make pillowcases, as well as teaching them on community service. I was able to go for 3 days, a Monday, a Wednesday, and a Friday, and teach 2 home economic classes. On Monday, I was extremely anxious. I did not know these students. I did not know if they would be willing to help me. And I have also never taught a child older than a 4th grader, but I had to forget all my worries and just jump right in. I started off the class by asking what they knew about community service, the types, why we should do service for others, and I asked them what community service projects they have done. I then showed a clip from the movie Pay It Forward. The teacher in the movie gave them a challenge to change the world and to put it into action. I then led into what I am doing and how I am changing other people's attitudes one pillowcase at a time. On Wednesday, we began to sew, and it was such a rough start. Both classes had problems after problems. Some could not remember how to set up the machine, others did not know how to turn on the iron, and most could not keep the thread in the machine. But once they got back into the swing of things, they were flying. I brought a total of 50 pillowcases to be completed. I had pre-cut the fabric for them, so all they had to do was iron and sew. I also had step-by-step instruction sheets for them to follow. On Friday, the last day, I came in expecting to have maybe half done, since we had such a rocky start. When I walked into the classroom, I saw that they had 45 done and had 5 left to do in 2 hours. They surprised me with all their hard work. What I asked of them was not easy, and they didn't even have to do it. I'm so grateful that they were all there to help me. To decide where to donate the pillowcases, I emailed at least 6 hospitals, and the very first 2 that got back to me were the ones I decided to donate to. On November 24th, Mom and I went to Children's Health Plano and delivered 60 pillowcases. On November 26th, Mom and I went to the Dallas location. Now the Dallas location is so much bigger than we expected, and we actually got lost. But a kind valet man showed us where we were supposed to go. For both locations, I had to fill out a donations form, stating what I was bringing, how much I was giving, and how many hours of time I had donated. On November 28th, Mrs. Sandy Ball emailed me. She is the head of donations at the Medical Center of Louisville. She emailed me, saying how grateful she would be for all the pillowcases, and gave me her number to call her. I called her and told her I had exceeded my goal of 100 pillowcases and actually donated 120, so I had nothing left to donate. She sounded so sad when I told her. Then I started thinking, which isn't always the best thing to do. I thought, well, I already made 120. Why not make 80 more and make it an even 200? That way the Medical Center of Louisville will get some. I told her I would have 80 more by April 10th. Then she told me that they only have adult cancer patients. I told her it was no problem and I would have 80 more adult-looking pillowcases by April. On March 21st, I will donate a total of 50 pillowcases to the Children's Health in Plano for a second time, and by April 10th, I will have all the pillowcases donated to these 3 hospitals mentioned. However, that may not be the case because I keep receiving more fabric donations. This project was such an amazing experience, and I plan to continue this through the rest of the school year and maybe even longer. To be honest, I do not see cases for cancer ever stopping. My goal was completed by April 10th, but there are so many other opportunities to sew pillowcases and even raise awareness about cancer that there is no way that I could set an end date to this project. My main goal was completed, but every month I seem to come up with a new goal that's even bigger than the last. I have honestly grown so much. I've learned patience, how to stay better organized, and I even was able to overcome some of my social anxiety. I would have never thought I'd be able to stand in front of you as confident as I am right now. I've met so many wonderful people. I've taught 2 8th grade classes, and I've made a pretty big impact in my Taffy chapter. In April, I will be presenting Cases for Cancer as the Marcus High School Taffy FEA Service Project for the 2015-2016 school year. My hope is that the MHS Taffy chapter accepts this as the service project because I would love to see this grow. I had to step up in a big way and lead people, and I really did not think I could do that. I've never seen myself as the leader, but I had to switch into that role to make sure everything got done when they were supposed to. I pushed myself and others through this project, making sure pillowcases were done by my set deadlines, making sure I had all the materials I needed for myself as well as others, and I made sure everyone knew why I was doing this project. Just knowing by April of this year, I could potentially have over 300 pillowcases completed and placed with children, teens, and adults always puts a smile on my face, and I hope it puts a smile on their face as well. Thank you.